Varmt välkomna till INzoomat med mig, Love Morsk. I veckans avsnitt kommer vi bli lite internationella och snacka engelska. Då med en gäst, konstnären Peter-John de Villiers, a.k.a. The Sallow Tree, engelsktalande. Så kommer vi sköta hela snacket på engelska. Men det stoppar oss inte från att ha ett gött tugg ändå. I veckans episod kommer vi få höra PJs historia i hur han landade ett stort designjobb för det globala skomärket Vans. Och hur vi ska hantera den här berg-och-dalbanan som många kreatörer kan uppleva. Nog snackat från mig, nu zoomar vi in på PJ de Villiers, a.k.a. The Sallow Tree. Hello and welcome PJ to INzoomat.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me at your beautiful place.
Yeah.
So where are we at?
Yeah, this is my home in Stotlandet, Norway, westernmost point of Norway. So it's it's a beautiful place. Really rugged coastline, nature, surf, snowboarding, friends. It's perfect.
Yeah, we've been around a little bit around the area today. It's stunning nature. Like I can be at every spot we stand on, like stopped. I can be there filming for hours. Like small details, big mountains, like, yeah, all around.
It never gets old, ever.
And when I have you here on my podcast, I would love you to thank you because PJ is the one behind the logo, the INzoomat logo. He made it. And I'm going to be ever grateful for that. So many good feedbacks come from like people like the logo a lot.
Oh, that's nice to hear. Yeah, I was really stoked to do it. So thank you too.
Yeah. So you've been around for ages, I think, in the art scene. You've been working with big brands, small brands. Can you get a bit of inside what you have been doing, like work-wise?
Yeah. So I'd say maybe I'm most known for my art in the snowboard industry. I've done all of Vimana's snowboard graphics for the last 10, 11, 12 years. I've done graphics for Snowboards. Maybe that's where I've put a pretty big mark of my own. And then of course I've been working with commercial illustration for 20 years, doing ad campaigns, and I'm doing collections with Vans, for example. Had a really cool opportunity in the last year to work with natural selection, and so but it's like I do a lot of stuff. I tattoo. I also play in a band, and I don't know. I do a lot of stuff, so it's hard to summarize, but generally creative existence. Yeah.
Exactly. Can you go in a little bit deeper on like the Vans collab you did?
Sure. It was just a couple of seasons back, and I was invited by Vans, and this was through a good friend of mine named Scof, and he'd done a collection with Vans. So thank you, Scof. And he put me in touch with Matt Paddy, and he was the head of the snow program global. And I got invited to do a collection, and that was bucket list for me, like huge. So grateful for that opportunity, and it was a really great experience, and I loved working with Vans, and I hope I can work more with them. And it's just really it felt nice to have that.
How was it to work with that's a big corporate global brand like Vans?
I think Vans is quite amazing at, even though being a big brand, have like a core brand feeling. And so it was great. Like every person I dealt with was really just stoked and professional, and the whole process was really smooth, and they were really open, and so they gave me the freedom, and I also it was pretty seamless, and just really nice.
Did you pay them good biscuits?
Did I pay them? Yeah.
No, I mean, did they pay you good biscuits?
A couple biscuits.
Couple of biscuits. All right. Yeah, I see some new expensive guitars in here, so maybe maybe Vance be a part of that.
I sold some things.
All right. Do you have? We can go into the keep on to the business side of things here. You're living in pretty remote place, like not like in the forest, far from everything. But I took 3 planes to come here, and like we drove for almost 2 hours to the airport and 1 ferry. How is it to live in so cool, creative spot and get like? Is it hard to get not disappear on the radar? I mean,
yeah, that's a good point. Because now I've been living here 5 years, and before that I lived in Oslo 7 years and in New York City 7 years. And kind of the goal the whole time was to be able to get to this point where I could move out of the city, because I love the city and it has a great energy. But like where I am now, like the nature it fills me up. So I can't see myself living in a city anytime soon again, but I love going to the city. And to your point, like part of being remote like this, like there's 700 people in this village, you know, means you have to keep kind of checking in with the world every once in a while and making trips and traveling and staying connected. So that's super important. And of course, things like social media are really helpful with that. Just keeping in conversation with someone.
Yeah. It feels like 2024 that you don't really need to be in the big cities. That's just my point of view, because everything is remote. And sometimes on my work, it feels like it's good to not be like in the big cities, because, you know, people want to have a workflow. And do you feel the same with that? Like, you know, it's totally fine to be out here working and then still get good connection with all the customers?
Absolutely. I mean, like, it's really just down to your personal preference, because whatever you want more, you'll find a way to make it happen. So if you're in the city, then use all the resources. And if you're here, you do the same. So yeah, you do have to have a little bit of thought to what you're doing to keep going. And I think sorry.
Is it hard to be living off like your art?
Of course, like there's a roller coaster, and you have to learn to ride that up and down, because sometimes it's really bad, sometimes it's amazing. And I'd say now I've done this just over 20 years. First 10 years was a total shit show. Excuse my French. But yeah, I was pretty broke, and I didn't know how to get from A to B, and it felt really challenging. And so those years were very formative years. But what I did do in those years was I gave everything to my craft. So what I didn't understand was the connection to other people thing as much. I was like, if I just get really good, then, you know, it works out. And maybe that was necessary. At least for me, it was. Like, I invested a lot in myself. And then when I moved to Norway, I suddenly realized, like, I need to, like, get connected. And somehow having a clean slate and not knowing anyone, like, forced me to reconsider the steps. And then I worked my ass off for 3 years. I, like, was showing my work to every agency, like, writing, you know, just cold calling, like, can I show you my work? Can I meet you? Everybody. And for 3 years, it was like, I'm not, like, gaining momentum. I didn't feel it, you know? But, like, just being present, like, entering competitions, showing up to events, like, it's a slow roll. And then once I started getting breaks, it, like, that roll got faster and bigger. And then suddenly, like, oh, damn, like, whoa, I did something for Vans. Like, what? So it's, I don't know. Like, it's a tough thing to navigate. There's no right or wrong way. So you just have to kind of follow your best instinct.
Yeah, and what's, like, creativity, it's hard to get what it's worth, you know?
Yeah.
like, what's the price on creativity?
Yeah, I think you kind of, the way I've always approached it is like, okay, I have this much experience and I've done this much, and each time I kind of level up, I also level up my everything. So it's like that same sort of momentum thing. But I mean, of course, if you're maybe smarter than me, you could just right off the bat figure it out. And if that happens to people too. So that's the fascinating thing. Like, you could be 20 years old and make it huge. Like, just be a sick painter, you know? And that's cool. Like,
with the history of like the road you built today, what you are today, could you do anything different? If you look on the mirror, like say like I should do that, or like,
I mean, every step was necessary, but if I could give myself advice sooner, I'd say get involved with something. And like for me, snowboarding was that something, because I did like generally love snowboarding, so it was easy to be a part of it. So find something that you love, be a part of it, and be a part of a community. And like the instinct of the community is to help, and people will help you. People are good.
Yeah, there's a lot of good people out there in the world, but sometimes it feels like the business is so hard, you know, with a lot of, you get like 20 no's and one's yes.
Yeah, you gotta get a thick skin.
Yeah,
like it's so much rejection. It's a lot of rejection, and yeah, I mean, yeah, you have to just kind of like push through that. And that's an important part of it. That kind of weeds out a lot of people in the first 5 years, I'd say. Is like, and then if you're still delusional after year 5, you maybe make it to year 10, and then you're really questioning yourself, and then maybe something happens.
Yeah.
At least in my case, I can only speak for myself.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like at the moment I'm in the dog years. Like I can, you know, I'm where you are at like 20 years ago, like hustling around, say hi to everyone.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The hustle never stops. I'm still hustling.
Yeah, I'm not glad to hear that, but like, okay, you know, I heard like super good people like hustling around still, like, because it's, you know, it's hot shots coming up, like people want to work with them, and what style prefer to the brands and customers, and you know, everything comes and goes, like,
yeah,
you're in, you're out, you're in, you're out.
100%. Or you're like in the right place at the right time, you know, and you get an opportunity. So yeah, it's a lot of luck and being prepared for when the moment comes.
Yeah. But it's cool that you're living off your art. I see. I mean it, like it's you know, you have a very distinct style to your art, like your piece, and like that's so cool. It feels like you have a niche, but you do a lot of with different materials.
Yeah,
like I can't see it, but PJ have a really nice guitar that he lasered out with his style. It's I'm gonna put a picture in here, but yeah, it's so nice. And I've been seeing you painting here in the afternoon, like another piece, but you know,
I just love, I really enjoy putting my stamp on something, you know, and that comes in a lot of different forms. So I'm most excited to try new stuff, and of course get better at things like painting. I've been painting forever, and there's an evolution to that, but like maybe it's woodcut all of a sudden, or it's etching, or it's playing guitar, like whatever. Like there's something really exciting for me. Like when I started tattooing, it was just 3 years ago, and even though I have it in my hand, like the style, I've been doing it on paper, like you're right back to zero when you pick up that like machine. And so there's a sort of like thrill to being like a newborn again. And I like that because it keeps it exciting.
Yeah,
sorry, what it is actually is it's like exciting to feel progress, because not that you ever level out, but like you explore something for so long, like painting, and you've done a lot of different stuff, then if you do something new, like you're feeling like huge jumps in progression, and that's the exciting part, maybe.
Do you feel like people try to put you into the box? Like, okay, PG just doing, like, you do a lot of black and white stuff, but you do color, of course. But do you feel like people try to get you like into the boxes? Like, he is doing that stuff.
I never felt that. Yeah, it's. I'm not really concerned with like other people's boxes. Yeah, I'm doing like what I do, and however that's received is great. Or like if it's not, then at least I don't care.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's really good.
Yeah, it'll find its audience, and whoever that is, like, thank you so much.
Yeah. So, what is like? What is art for you?
Oh wow, that's a big one.
Yeah, it's I know it's a big one, but I throw it out there and see what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, like if I really think of it in a corny answer way, it's a lifestyle, because like I'll be going to the store and like I feel like you're just kind of observing the world a little differently. So like I don't know, I'm like finding attention to the small things around that. Or finding a different way of looking at something, or whatever it is, you kind of have a different view of the world. Like if I'm suddenly got excited about painting landscapes, then I'm driving around like, oh my God, you see how the way the light is hitting that mountain right now? And stuff like that. Or like the clouds, you seeing this? Or, so I think it's really like you commit yourself to it fully. And like, it feels like such a part of me to be an artist. I don't know any other way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sick. That your art, I will describe it like super distinct style, and from a first view, a little bit dark. Like dark, mental dark. How would you describe your own art with your own words, not my words?
It's funny you say that, because as an example, like if I get a commission or I get something, people say, just do your thing, And I'm like, well, if you look at my thing, there's like a million different things. So like over here, we have like this kind of cute, colorful bird. That's like a really like, I think, a warm, kind of inviting looking thing. Versus, of course, I've done this like super dark shit too that is like, oh my God. And all of that is a part of me. So, or I'm doing like commercial beer cans that are just really kind of like strange and colorful. So there's many facets to like what makes me and my style. So I can't pinpoint it. I'm just like kind of, I guess in one way or another, I'm like, it's coming through me. So it is me. And I'm not like thinking about it too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember a quote come from a mini documentary about you that you said like, and yeah, the question was like, why does the art look like it looks when it comes out in the pencil? Like, and you said like, this is what I see in my head.
Yeah.
And then was like a super nasty creature we were painting with like 12 eyes and cool.
Yeah. Well, I think the cool thing about being an artist is like, I don't remember saying that at all. And I don't like even believe myself. I was lying. No, like you have to like, I think it's exciting to be able to completely contradict yourself, because like I've seen old interviews, like not that, or I've heard or read something and it's like, really? Like I thought that, or like, So I love being able to like totally do the opposite of what I've said or believe or anything, and there's a lot of power in that, in the sense that you're learning something or you're open to something more.
Yeah. Today when I see you work at the new pieces they're working on, it's so cool to see you like fall into it. Like you're like, you're talking in the beginning like blah blah blah, and then suddenly you went quiet and like super into the pieces, like details, like you fall into what you're doing. And then when I ask you what is that, like I don't know, like I just had a feeling of it, you know.
Yeah.
And then when you see the bigger picture, you see of course like what it is, but it's so cool to see you work on a piece, like so much feelings go into it.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think that those paintings are a perfect example of doing the opposite, because I had been learning to tattoo, and everything about tattooing is about control. It's about learning the machine, the needles, everything. It's about like, it's a formula. And so I was like, I feel so like I'm enjoying this, but I need the opposite. So with these paintings, I just bought like a 10-meter roll of canvas, put it outside, and went into my barn and found pieces of wood, like, and whatever, like leaves and rocks, and just like literally said like, I want this to be the opposite of tattooing, so I'm going to throw it on the canvas, and wherever it lands, that's where it's meant to be. And then paint around it, and then take it into the studio and finish it. And like, you can see when I'm painting that, I'm like purposefully careless about it, because I don't want to think. I don't want to like inject any sort of like thought into it. I want to like be free. And so I'd say those paintings are super personal in that way. I'm just like letting it kind of happen. And tattooing is the opposite, which I equally enjoy, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Can you speak a little about those paintings? What's up with those, the new things you're working on at the moment?
I mean, that's like pretty much what I just said. Like they're a reaction to other stuff I've been doing, in the sense that like they represent freedom for me. Yeah. They're not meant to be anything. Like I can paint an owl like quite well at this point, and that's cool. But like, why not like make a form out of something that isn't anything? Because like everyone knows an owl, but like that stuff is more kind of mysterious in a way to me as well. Like it's just nothing. So I think that's kind of cool. And I don't know, like when I see it, it almost feels like a macro photo of like some cell or some, like, you know, like it looks like some deeper level or even cosmic. It's like it either zoom in or zoom out sort of thing.
Yeah. Personally, I love them so much because, as you said, like you feel as a viewer, it's open to see what you want to see.
Yeah.
I saw some creatures. I saw a lot of stuff in those paintings. So
yeah.
Is it for your new exhibition coming up, or?
Yes, October 24th to the 27th at Rebel Gallery in Switzerland, BL. Yeah.
Then you can grab one of those if you want to, right?
Yeah, I can grab 2, 3,
3, 4, everyone. And you have other pieces, of course, for sale.
I'm gonna have a lot of pieces, and like it's always been important for me, like when I exhibit work, that I have a range, you know. Like I'm gonna have T-shirts that I've made lino cuts from and bleached that will be like available, you know. Like I've always thought like, if someone wants a piece of art, like it's a shame that like, it's nice to be able to have something available for everyone. So there's everything from prints to like giant paintings.
Yeah. If something gets not sold, you just can send it to me if you want, and I can have it on my wall back home and try to sell it.
I'll take half of what you get.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. You have a artist name. Can you call it that? The Sallow Tree.
Yeah, I guess so.
You work on that. Yeah, I work under that name, the Sallow Tree.
Yeah.
Where does that come from? The Sallow Tree.
I know, it's so uninteresting. It's funny. Like,
okay, I'm excited to hear about it.
So it's 1999, and my dad's a graphic designer. He does web design too back in the day, and he's like, "You need a website," and I was like, "Yeah, I guess I do." And he's like, "Well, I need to pick a domain name," and I was like, "Okay." And I just had a sketchbook, and I used to have a sketchbook all the time. It was just like a practice drawing from life. And for whatever reason, I'd written Sallow Tree in this sketchbook. And I just came on the page and I was like, Sallow Tree. It's got a ring to it, you know? And that was it. There's no deep meaning behind it or anything. But it feels right somehow. And I've always been unsure, should I just go by my name, or maybe there's something to Sallow Tree? I don't know. It's weird that it's stuck because, and that was 20-something years.
Yeah, personally, I think it's so cool because
25 years, 20-something.
How old are you?
72.
Yeah, cool. Me too. So, you've been around a long time, and people that have seen your works maybe connect you to a lot of birds in your paintings. In the middle of the painting, it's a big bird, or somehow owl, or some. I'm not the perfect bird person, but yeah, it's always not always, but the first painting I saw, actually, the first was a Vimana board, the making of the Vimana boards. But then I was checking it out, and a lot of birds, and then a lot of stuff around the birds. What's about the birds?
Yeah. So there's a few things. Actually, if I take it all the way back, I grew up in South Africa, and I have a sister who's 3 years older than me, and she was really involved in it was called Brownies in South Africa, which is actually Girl Scouts. But the Brownies logo was an owl. And I thought it was so cool, you know, because my mom was a part of it, helping it. And I'd be on the playground while they're doing their thing. But I remember that logo, and it's not all that different from the one right here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if I need to look it up online, it's probably a bit different, but yeah. So there was something that stuck there, but then my mom was really fascinated by birds as well as her garden, and so we did a lot of bird watching and identifying when I was a kid. So I just have this really nice feeling around that, a really positive memory. And so I think there's something there. And I recently lost my mom, so there's a connection there between us. And she painted birds and owls and, mushrooms and a lot of the same stuff I'm painting. So it's maybe a thread there subconsciously. Yeah.
Sorry for lost.
Thank you. It was tough.
Yeah. Losing a parent is not the easiest part of life.
No, it's not. But I do feel those experiences in all difficult experiences, there's equal amount to gain in learning and appreciation for the trauma that comes with it. Not trauma, but there's an equal great reaction to the difficultness of it if you can find your way to that. Of course, it can do the opposite, but there's always a way to grow from stuff like that.
Yeah. Life's it's how to say it in English, yeah. You learn on the way.
Yeah, the whole time. Hopefully.
So, yeah. Sorry for being jumping back to your art, but what do you have any like to the viewer of your art? Can you like do you try to send them with the art piece? Try to send some feelings, or is it like totally up to the viewer what they feel when you're doing like we say you're doing like a piece with an owl and a lot of other stuff around it? Do you have like a feeling into that piece, or is it open?
Yeah, that's great. I think because you really tapped into something there. Because at a certain point, as an artist, like you realize like it's kind of not about you at all, even though it's all about you. It's actually, if you can get your head to a spot where like you're making something more for it's tough to articulate this, but like you're like a messenger in a way, and if you can like get out of your own way, then your message is pure in a way. So I would say like the only control I have over like how I want to work to be received is like the energy I'm dealing with while I'm making it. So I don't have any control of how anyone perceives it once they're looking at it, but at the very least, like maybe they can feel the authenticity of my effort in it. But I have no idea. Like everybody like reacts differently to different images, and that's out of my control. And that is also the really fascinating part, because like I remember I used to like almost like hoard my own artwork, like it's mine, I love it, I want it. But then I realized like, yeah, but that's not the point. Like it's serving its purpose if like people can enjoy it. And that's why maybe snowboards have been so nice, or album covers, or whatever, beer labels, like, or murals, like tattoos. Like it's not that it has like this great purpose, but it becomes something for someone. And that is when you're like kind of transcending from being selfish artist to like an artist for the world or something. I don't know, not to be corny, but like, yeah, it's yeah, I don't know, yeah.
Do you think art is important for us people, like for human people?
Yeah, it'd be like a really dull world with like any creativity, wouldn't it? I mean, like when you travel and stuff, like I mentioned this the other day, is like you want to go see a concert or go eat at a great restaurant or maybe go to a museum or look at the architecture or whatever. Like it's the creativity. Every human has this creative like drive, whether it's whatever, like maybe some things that wouldn't be normally perceived as creative, I think, are 100% creative. And like everybody's sort of like vision of your whatever, an engineer or whatever, you're using your creativity to create stuff for people, and the whole world is made up of that. So yeah, it would be still like in the caveman age, maybe.
Caveman. But even on the caveman age,
they had art.
They had art.
And good art too. So
super sick art. What do you think you would do if you're not the artist?
Maybe I'd be a gardener. Or yeah.
That's creative too.
Yeah. A postman? No. Yeah. No, like I love being outdoors. I could be like, it would have been cool to like be an athlete, actually, if I had any skill. Like that seems like a really cool lifestyle. Like, of course, when I was younger, I was like, I want to be a pro snowboarder.
Sign me in on that.
Pro surfer would be nice too, but yeah, like it wasn't in the cards for me.
No.
Yeah.
You're doing really great work to be an artist. So postman and the gardener, it's like don't have that plan.
Yeah, but like snowboarders and skate, like those people are like gods to me. Like the stuff that they can do, like, because I wish I could do it so badly that I see, like, yeah, it just blows my mind. Like I feel like I can do it, but I cannot do it even like 0%, you know?
I feel that I never seen you snowboard, but I think you're pretty good. If I like in my head, I never seen you snowboarding. I would love to see you.
I'm not though. That's the crazy thing. Like I'm just like making turns. Like,
Yeah,
you know.
That's turns is a trick.
Yeah,
it's a feeling.
I love snowboarding. Like I'm so passionate about it. Like I'm having a lot of fun when I snowboard, but like I'm shit snowboarder.
Isn't that the important thing, to have fun?
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah, you know, it's easy to get lost into the trick book. You know, it's fun to learn new tricks, and it's super nice to land tricks. It's a super special feeling to land tricks, and yeah, the battle the tricks or whatever and get it on film. You know, it's the so nice feeling.
Yeah,
but in the end, it's so important to have fun.
Yeah.
You're just playing.
Yeah.
If you boil down really hard, and I'm not saying that I'm having fun all the time when I'm snowboard, because I love snowboard, and when you love something, you hate it also sometimes, and you love it. I see that's when you said, for me, that's love. Like sometimes you hate it, and sometimes like, oh, it's like a god.
Yeah, I can totally like relate to that right now with surfing, because I like really dedicated myself to surfing 5 years ago when I moved here, like a really late bloomer, but I like put my heart into it, and surfing like 3-4 days a week, no matter what. And I like got to like a intermediate kook level, and but you know, like really into it. And but the other day I got the fin right in the back of the head and sliced my head open. And so now I'm like, okay, just that exact like love-hate thing. And now I'm like a little nervous. Like, okay, I just got to get over it and get back out there.
Yeah. Always after a slam, you need to like ease into it, and then like, okay, I got this.
Yeah, and I slammed so hard in high school snowboarding. Like it just like overshot a table and over-rotated, broke my arm in half and got metal, and like didn't have health insurance, and like felt guilt for that. And so like I lost a lot of steam after that one. Like it was like but like maybe then I pushed more into like the art thing. So like, you know, there's always a silver lining.
Yeah. I think that's when things like that happen, like a heavy slam. It's just the key to get back on the board again is to have a solid crew, like to push you, like, come on, man, you got it. Like push them, then the baby steps back, and then you fully charging again.
I got my crew that keep calling me. Come on.
You need to just say yes.
Yeah.
I want to jump back a little bit to the business side of being an artist, because you know, you can be an artist, you don't need to earn money on it, but if you want to earn money, it's super interesting to hear your thoughts of that part of the business side of it.
Yeah, because you do have to have discipline. You have to like have a game plan, or at least like a wish for what you want to do.
Yeah.
So like part of the biggest thing with any career choice that you make is like, what exactly do I want? You know? And I think once you've defined the thing that you want, you can take steps towards it. So like in the beginning, I'd say it was really abstract. I want to be an artist. And I just want to be an artist, but I learned a few things along the way. And yeah, maybe like it's about like being more intentional about certain things to do, like how to approach it. Okay, like, yeah, you want to do packaging. Well, who works with packaging? This and this and this agency works with packaging. Then send them an email and just keep it short and sweet and say, here's my work. I'd love to meet, like, if you have time.
Yeah.
Like,
is that the best, I lost the word I had in my head. The best advice, is that the word I'm looking for? Is there advice for an up-and-comer artist to, like, reach out everywhere?
Yeah, just be relentless, and like you'll get rejected most of the time. And even still today I get rejected. So don't take it personally. You just like, you just have to like, what's that quote, like super corny, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So like you just have to keep firing.
What have you learned about on the way? You mentioned it a little bit, but what have you been learning of those 20 years of being an artist and a business owner?
Okay. Biggest things I've learned, and if I try to summarize, number one, get really good at what you do, like hone in the craft. Number two, be a nice person. Be like nice to work with, because then it was a good experience for everyone. Maybe you get recommended because you were nice to work with. But if you're not nice to work with, people aren't going to bother. Like, save my friend from having to deal with a not nice person, you know? So that's a huge thing. And then maybe, like, on an equal importance is to be dependable. If you're, like, get the job, deliver the job perfectly on time and deliver more than what was expected of you. Like, because... you should. Like, you should always, like, give, like, everything you have to what you're doing in the moment. And that will get you far. I think those 3 things will get you very far. Like, respect people and be kind and, like, treat people well. Yeah.
That's good advice, I think.
Yeah.
Do you see how the biggest thing... You do art for yourself. You do music. You do a lot of things. Your whole house is built like with a lot of personal projects. Between commercial works and doing your work for yourself, what's the biggest? Help me out. Like difference. Thank you.
Yeah. The biggest difference, of course, is like commercial work usually is coming with a brief. So you're like getting like someone else's idea and trying to make that reality. And a lot of that is like forfeiting yourself in the process of being able to actually hear someone else's wishes and not imposing your like view on it. So like someone's coming to you because they like what you do and they want you to do your thing, but still like you have to be open-minded enough to like hear like what direction they want or how they want this to be perceived. So the puzzle of like taking someone else's vision to reality is like really important because you learn from it. Like, oh, I wouldn't have like seen it like that. So now I've like can like kind of add that to my toolkit. And that's really important. And then, of course, like on the opposite side, when I do it for myself, like all that collected outside influence plays itself out in there too. But I'm allowed to like be totally free for myself. So that balance is really nice and important. And for me, it works. And then, of course, like the music stuff is like really exciting because I'm really naive with it. I'm like I'm more childlike than my painting in a way, and so it's kind of like opening presents. You know, songs are so mysterious. Yeah. Yeah.
So 100% with you. Like doing stuff for yourself is one thing, of course, and you learn from the commercial work and put it into your own work. So interesting thought you have, like listen, patience, do your thing, but listen. Yeah,
like just in life in general, listening more than talking. Like I'm not a huge talker in general. I like quite often like with people listening rather than talking. So but then when it's time to talk, like it feels like right now I'm like, this is strange, but at the same time, like it's interesting to hear myself say stuff because I don't talk that much. Yeah.
Do you have any dream projects coming up, or just to have a dream project?
Yeah, like every year I kind of like reevaluate this dream list that I have, and if I think about like some of the things that like when I make these lists, that's kind of like setting the wheel in motion. And I think that's a really important exercise. That's part of that defining what you want thing. So like one of the things that was on the list was like solo exhibition. And then like magic, it kind of falls into place. And so definitely the solo exhibition is a huge deal for me. Like I've always felt like as I'm like a total outsider in the art world. Like I may have done some things, but in the art world, I'm like non-existent in a way. Like, and that's like really strange. Like I've done like all the exhibitions and galleries and everything stuff that I've done has been like mostly through my snowboard friend crew. Like Scoff and Jamie and Aaron Schwartz and Tidal stuff and Human Nature. So like that's like a DIY effort, you know? That's like, okay, there's art in snowboard culture, like what to do about it? Well, we're the artists, so it's our responsibility to like do something with it, I guess. And then you do something and you kind of create culture, you know? Because yeah, you realize like, oh yeah, we have to do it. Like I've walked into so many galleries over the years and never really felt super welcome.
From my I've seen that sounds so weird.
I know it is weird. Like I feel like almost like a bastard child of something I love so much.
Yeah.
But then it's interesting. Like this Rebel Gallery now, like the owner, he has been riding one of my snowboards for years, and that's why he got in touch. So you never know how it happens. Like,
no.
So yeah, I'm not bitter at all. But I've had so many amazing opportunities, but I do feel like sometimes like not like, but that's just the nature of the art world. It's a bit insulated.
Yeah, because my point of view, like seeing your art, like with the Vimana, this is on that Vimana road. I was finding out about you and what you've done, and you know, each year when I get a new board and look on the board, it gets me hyped, you know, and it's like I feel like honored to have your art, riding on your art, like.
Oh, that's so cool to hear, because like that's the same stoke I have when I snowboard. Like when I was younger, is like this board is so sick. Like Jeff Brushy boards were like, oh, that was like my shit. Like I loved all those boards, and it gives you a stoke, you know. And so to hear that like people get stoked on my graphics is so nice. And just to think like, oh, Wernie is riding my board, or any, you know, or like, wow, like. What? It's so cool. Yeah.
And what I will say about that, like, it almost feels like your artwork is too good to be on a snowboard. It's like more like the world needs to see it instead of just be on a snowboard. I'm super honored to have it on my snowboard, of course. But I said, like you said, you don't really fit into the art world. Like, it gets me like, whoa.
Yeah, well, you know, like
a little bit scuffed, like, whoa, what the fuck are you saying?
Okay, but I like when I hear actually like myself say that, like that's like me. That's a mental block. That's not on anyone else or any gallery or anyone. That's me. Like, so actually, if I like shifted gears and said, okay, for the next year, I'm gonna focus on the gallery. I'm going to do whatever I can to like go to every one of their openings and get to know them. And this, so like, I can only blame myself for that, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, yeah, thank you for that. I love the galleries. If you're listening to this and you're a gallery, call me up.
Call him, please. I'm gonna put his number in the description under this.
Yeah, but that's true. Like, and that's actually a really important point. Is like your mindset is like creating your reality. I really do believe that. Like your mindset, like if all I ever wanted, my only career goal was the snowboard, graphic, and now I've done 60 plus boards, And that's because I believed I could do it and I wanted to do it. So you just have to, it's a mindset thing.
Of course. Yeah.
You need to expand.
Yeah. So what's next up for the Sallow Tree?
Next is, of course, this exhibition. I'm going to paint a mural in a couple of weeks. My friends open like a punk club and a pizza bar and that. And then, honestly, like after this show, I think like, I don't know. I want to like kind of break entirely new territory. Like this like show will be a chapter kind of for me. And then not that I'm closing a door on any style or anything like that, but I really want to break into new territory. Like I want to like the work to project something more positive than it has, because it's felt like a bit dark for a bit. And I can feel that I'm not in that headspace anymore. Like, so I'm excited to see kind of what comes out of like this more intentional, positive like thing that I'm feeling. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
PJ, it's time to thank you so much for being part of INzoomat.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And you want to be guest on my show. And thank you again for the amazing logo.
Yeah, I really appreciate everything you've done, you know? Like it looks so good, the podcast, and you're traveling out here and everything. Like it's been so nice. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Tack för att du har lyssnat på dagens avsnitt av INzoomat. Jag hoppas verkligen att du har lärt dig någonting. Om du gillar det du hörde skulle jag uppskatta enormt att du delar med dina vänner och kollegor. Och glöm inte att följa kanalen så att du inte missar nästa avsnitt. Vi hörs snart.